I was joined from Charlotte, North Carolina, by my friend Michelle Ryan, AI certified author, published author, unbelievable experience in tech, writing, and business. We thank you so much for joining us today. I got a room full here with me at Velma Jackson High School. We're recording this for all of our friends in Madison County Schools for our computer science engineering classes, including my good friend Angela Jordan over there at Shirley Simmons Middle School, and also our YouTube channel. So thank you so much for taking some time for us today.
You're welcome. I'm honored. Thank you for inviting me.
Now, just give us a little background. You went to the University of Nebraska at Omaha. You
I
got your
did.
degree in business and finance, and you did work for a little while in business. So, just give us a little background about your college education, and transitioning into those first careers.
Okay. Well, I'm kind of a numbers geek, but at 19, when I went to college, I started as an accounting major, but I wasn't as focused as I should have been. So finance was a little easier. Ended up graduating, moving to Baltimore, and working in insurance of all things, health insurance. And that led to going into healthcare and a lot of back office. And at that time, kind of realized that I was techie, kind of had tech skills. So kind of in all of my roles, I kind of moved into kind of the tech space. Ended up, at Johns Hopkins for a couple of years. Then we moved to Colorado, and I worked for University of Colorado for 14 years. And once again, I came in into revenue cycle and was supposed to be collecting money, but they realized, you know what? Why don't you administer the systems? That's really your strength. So from revenue cycle went into IT, and that's kind of where I ended my career there. And then when I moved to Charlotte, went into a couple other healthcare IT firms
Yeah,
and
and,
was
and
laid off.
you dealt with identity theft. You dealt with a lot of really cool programs when they were starting to really come out, and companies were really starting to pay a lot of money for that.
Yes, absolutely. And so did a lot of like I said, revenue cycle, collecting money, file generation, that type of thing, until 2 years ago when I was laid off, took the time to say, okay, I've been writing for 20 years. So this is my opportunity to write. And then this AI thing kind of blew up, and I love that. So I have kind of invested my time in that. And just recently, I've accepted a job with Charlotte Mecklenburg Schools to be a substitute. So that's going to be kind of a nice
Awesome.
combination.
Absolutely, and it's really cool. I mean, it's not cool when you're laid off, but you turn that into a great opportunity because you've published two novels. You've published a lot of content about AI and how it helps writers. And
Mhm.
we always think of AI as robotics and all of that, the Will Smith movies and all and everything, but you've really gotten on the forefront and ahead of how AI really helps writers be more successful. Now,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
obviously, your website is therighteU.com, and we'll definitely get with that before we get done. But you offer a lot of blog posts on there, and those things that I even never thought about because we know about ChatGPT, we know about AI tools, and you even have a great YouTube video. We'll definitely get that out as well, where you said, "Look, you're using AI and you don't even know it." So, talk about all the things that AI touches because you've done a lot of work on this, and it is really something that not only we need to accept, but we need to get really good at using. So, talk about all the things that AI uses that we really don't realize we're using it every single day.
You are so right. And, everything, Amazon, Siri in our phones, GPS, all of that. Anytime we are typing and our text is being corrected, well, that's AI. And so, a lot of our smart devices that we just use without, with anytime we're doing any type of remote type of anything, and especially when we are talking with chatbots, because we don't want to talk to a real person. All of that is AI. So, and a lot of people, they get thrown off by the term, and it feels like this future thing, but no, it is with us. And another thing that people need to realize is that every time you use it, they are saving your data and your steps, and AI is following you all around the world, and you don't even know it.
Absolutely. And I think it's also cool because more and more jobs in AI are popping up. More companies are needing AI people, a lot of cybersecurity people. So you are a perfect example of somebody that worked in tech but never got a tech degree. And obviously, we want to encourage kids to make the best decisions for their steps after high school, and they can get IT certifications in high school. But as somebody that worked in tech without a tech degree, how easy is it to get into this with just, I know you have several certifications as well. How
Mhm.
easy is it to get into this and not necessarily because we have kids all the time. I
Mhm.
want to get in tech, but I don't want to spend 4 years going to college. My family can't
Mhm.
afford it. I'm not really a other type of class person. I just want to get the certification and work. So, how easy is it to get into these tech jobs that you've seen without even really having a tech degree?
I would not call it easy, but I would say that the best way to do it is to work, is do the work and to connect with people and make like you are really good at networking, increase your network, learn from other people, learn from mentors, and demonstrate your expertise.
Absolutely. Now, one thing, and obviously, and we talked about this, the last 2 years, you've been spending a lot of time writing,
Mhm.
and a really cool combo, I think, to have technology and AI really touching the creative side. Because we have kids that may want to be writers. I have
Mhm.
kids all the time that say, I want to, and everybody doesn't write novels. We have some that write poetry. We have some that want to be journalists. We have some that want to write write whatever. So, first of all, even though this is a tech-based class, like we said earlier this week, we even had another writer who talked about the importance of writing. Even if you are working in tech, you've got to be able to write. You've got to be able to write
Mhm.
clearly. You've got to be able to write where everybody can understand it. You can't write like you text. And I always say you have to be able to convey a fact to somebody that has no idea what you're talking about. You may have
Absolutely.
to explain something to the 85-year-old grandmother who's never had a smartphone in her life, as
Mhm.
well as the 10-year-old who hasn't had a smartphone yet. So, um, obviously, first of all, why are writing skills so important in every industry? And what have you seen? How is AI helping people become better writers?
Writing skills are important because communication is important. And especially in the roles that I have where I wasn't necessarily a tech person, I needed to be able to understand and communicate tech topics. And so and writing, especially because we do everything with writing emails. Well, if you don't phrase the email correctly, especially with technical things, you got to be very detailed. And and things that we assume are kind of elementary. It's not for everyone. It's
Yeah,
not. So you have to learn how to break it
absolutely.
down. So it's very important, and AI just really helps me with clarity, and to express my thoughts.
Yeah, and obviously, the big controversy now is people are just using AI to write everything, and I think it's really funny. They have the thing where they have the AI can write the book about you, which is almost like a spoof, and it's funny to read,
Mhm.
but to me, it just doesn't even have near the touch of a human actually doing the writing, and you're doing yourself a huge disservice by not practicing your writing
Mhm.
and missing out on the knowledge. So.
Right.
Obviously, it is a very fine line, but
Absolutely.
you have great posts where you write about use this to help you. Don't do it to do the work for you. But
Mhm.
you've had people, you talk about having writer's block. You talk about finding a way to get something started. So, what are some ways that you're seeing people, even if they're not a professional writer, are
Mhm.
using these tools to become better students, better writers, better business people?
Like I said, I think the communication is key. Um, I would say using it to express your thoughts because conversational AI has gotten so nuanced that you can go in there and just say, okay, well, I'm thinking about this. And AI is going to come back with you and question you and really kind of dig into your thoughts. And it really helps because it really helps for you to formulate your intent. And and I've heard like family members who are starting to use it. And like I don't send an email, a business email, before I go into AI to edit it, to refine it, to make sure that it is sounding professional.
Yeah, and it's amazing. And again, I'm not trying to make our kids feel stupid because it's not. We have so much intelligence,
Uh-huh.
not only at our school but in our district. But I've had kids say, "Look, I don't know how to write this. Can you write it for me?" And I'm always going to help them because especially if they're applying for something important. But I'm
Hmm.
like, look, if we need to set aside a time to learn how to do this, this is an important skill. And now,
Hmm.
even if you can't find me, AI is there to help. It really does. It can catch errors that spell check's not going to catch. It can
Yes.
ask you, what's the context of this, and it really can make you not only sound more professional. It could be the difference between you getting a job and not getting a job.
But it is so important for them to at least start themselves because AI is not creative. AI just spits out facts. It is not creative. And if you let AI talk for you, um, it's actually going to say nothing. It's just going to say a bunch of what everybody else has said. So, and you don't develop your skills by letting technology speak for you.
Absolutely. Now, one thing I think is cool is that now you've become an entrepreneur. And your website, The Right You, and that is THEWRITEYOU.com, where
Hmm.
you give where you teach people how to write.
Hmm.
For anybody wanting to be a writer of any sort, and you
Hmm.
have a couple of novels that you've written, so you turned that being laid off into an opportunity to be a published author. And you have the two novels, Cheating Like Breathing and Worth Saving. So
Hmm.
just talk about first of all, did you use AI to help you write these novels? And second, just give us the basis and the inspiration behind this because these are available on Apple and Amazon. So these are available at major book retailers. So just tell us a little bit about these and how the where the inspiration came from to write these books.
Well, these books were actually written. Actually, 'cause I've been writing 20 years. Went a long time uh, then having these books completed. I've changed, revised, changed the topics and everything, but was too scared to publish them. So my first one, Worth Saving, was published, I think, 2020, and then the next one was published probably the same year, but they had been sitting for a long time. So
Wow.
no, these were before AI. My
Okay.
third actually was 3 years ago, and that was before AI also. But I was able to finish that one faster. Why? Because I had Grammarly. Grammarly is, as everyone knows, AI.
Yeah.
That helps a lot. And that is a tool that I don't do without now. Now I have, because of ChatGPT, I now don't pay for Grammarly anymore because you have ChatGPT. So if I have any questions about grammar, I can go to ChatGPT, and I think it works a little bit better. But and so now I have, to your point, I've started nonfiction now.
Oh,
I got a
cool.
new book coming out on May 1st, kind of a inspirational ministry pamphlet. It's about 30, but it was really, really close to my heart. Doing a memoir now that I'm hoping to get out. So, and all of this is because of AI, because AI is
Wow.
helping me with the ideas, and it's just really honestly, and then since I'm so in love with the AI industry, I'm even writing some beginning AI books also,
Oh,
introduction to
wow.
AI books. So this is all AI, just really generating that excitement and generating that creativity and just giving me more ideas. And now, because of AI, we can have ideas, but then we have AI to help us to get them done, as opposed to just kind of sitting there thinking about, oh, I don't know where to start, or I can't do this. But we have AI to help us get started.
Yeah, and that's a great point too, because who would have thought that AI would have such a big hand in the writing industry? These kids could develop AI to do something that they never dreamed of before.
Yes,
It really
absolutely.
is. Hold on one second. I've got somebody at the door. One moment.
Oh.
All right, so I got had somebody at the door there real quick, but like we said, AI is touching more industries than ever. So these kids, as they get ready to get out of high school, could
Mhm.
come up with an AI idea that we would have never thought of. Because
Mhm.
until I was reading about you and doing a little research, I was like, wow, we talk about this every day, and I never even thought of this. So
Mhm.
I really encourage our kids to think about how can AI make our lives better, and it
Mhm.
really is not going anywhere, and it's so important to learn it now.
Mhm. Yes, you can get an idea, AI can help you with it. I am working on another novel where I asked AI for the idea and I asked them to outline it for me. Now, mind you, I did not take their ideas, but I took pieces of it. And, in the outline, I started with their outline and I'm changing it as I'm going along, but I'm making faster progress than I did before 20 years ago when I first started. So,
Big time. Now, obviously, I think it's important to talk about, even though this isn't really tech related, but I think with so many of our kids saying they want to be entrepreneurs, I mean, I've lost count in the amount of kids, and I know I can speak for the other teachers as well, that, I
mhm,
hear kids say, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to make my own hours. I want to work for myself. I'm going to, and they hear the Jasmine Sullivan song where she said, I'm going to move to Atlanta, start a business, and be rich. And that can happen, but it's not a magic trick. So you do have you are an entrepreneur. You sell your services of how to aid writers. You
mhm,
have the books that you sell. So I
mhm,
always say it's funny. I meet people that are great at what they do,
mhm,
but they don't know anything about running a business
mhm.
because it really is two separate things that go together. So obviously, you've been writing for over 20 years. You're a published author. You've been very successful at that. But when it comes to running a business, what are some things that you had to learn? Because I see kids all the time. They're great at doing hair, but they're not charging enough. I see kids all the time. They're great designers, but they're not using the right things that companies want. I see kids that they want to sell clothes, but they're paying way too much for wholesale. So just talk about some of the things you've had to learn being a business.
So, truthfully, and I'll be completely transparent, I am still learning. I have mentors and I have coaches. I am in a coaching program now because the whole marketing, as a writer, we have our ideas. We're like, okay, I'm gonna write a book. It's gonna be a bestseller. It's gonna be on Oprah's book club, and I'm gonna get rich. Well, it just doesn't happen that way. So, what I have learned is you never stop learning, and you never stop asking questions, and you have to, people have this idea about the glamour of being in business, and there is a lot of very tedious details that you have to take care of. Uh, and honestly, I'm still working on that. I still got people helping me with my ideas, helping me with what I want to market, the services that I want to package. So you never stop learning.
Absolutely. And it's just, we see the glamorous side, we see the social media side, and all that's cool. And that is a part of it because you've got to get your name out there. You mentioned networking. People have to know who you are. But if you
Right.
can't handle the behind the scenes things, the planning, getting with the right tax attorney, getting with the right accountant, it
Yeah,
really can be catastrophic.
absolutely.
Because so many businesses closed, and it wasn't because they had bad customer service. It wasn't because they had a bad product, but they were not handling the financial side. So for these kids that have these business ideas, and we've had a lot of them, we've had great entrepreneurs come out of our school, and I know the other teachers have as well. But it really is a lot of planning and a lot of
Mhm.
tediousness, a lot of long hours, and look, there's a lot of pros to it because I hear entrepreneurs say all the time. Um, I'm able to pick up my kids from school every day. I'm able to plan family vacations, but you got to plan around that. So it really is something that takes a lot of planning and a lot of work. But really, really cool that you pivoted into that and still able to do other things. So I really admire that about you to be able to do that.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy, and this is like my second career, because I worked 40 years. So, um, but yeah, it's really rewarding to be able to do what I love.
Well, I do have a few questions from the students, and
Okay.
these are really good. I'm glad they're thinking about this. This first one is Bryson Stevens. He's in ninth grade, and he asked, "When you're writing a book, what is the first thing you have to figure out before you ever start writing?"
You have to figure out, first of all, your schedule because you want to be consistent. You don't want to just sit down and then do something and then don't get back to it because that consistency is key. You have to stay in that project because if you let it go too long, you're not going to get back to it and you're not going to finish it.
I agree. I'm not even a writer, and I can tell you that. I like this one. This is Rashawn Smith. He's a senior, and he asked, of all the AI programs you've had to learn, what do you think is more important? The one that is easy to use, or one that can do more jobs?
I don't know. You know what? They're all getting to be so easy to use. I would say probably the one that can do more jobs. Like there are a lot of them I use, but I don't go a day without using ChatGPT because it can do so many things. So I that's a great question, actually.
And I got one more. This is Zarius Cooper. He's a senior. He asked, when you were working full time in tech, how much of your writing skills were being used every day?
A lot because of the fact that I was not a coder, I was not a programmer. I was that middle person who dealt with the business and who dealt with the programmer. So my communication was everything. So I would write all day long, training manuals, just always trying to explain to the business side what the actual technology was doing and its limitations.
Absolutely. Well, we're almost out of time, and we thank you so much for taking some time for us. I just think what you're doing is amazing. And again, the website is the right you, TheWriteYou.com. You have all your social media information on there. Also, you're on YouTube, and really cool shorts on there, just simple things about AI, like we just mentioned. I really thought one was interesting where you said, look, AI is coming. You've got to either accept it or you've got to realize you use it every day and you don't even know it. So really cool, and none of it's too long. Really good YouTube shorts that you're putting out. So everybody needs to go subscribe to the channel as well. But before we go, just a couple things. First of all, obviously, being a black female in this area is different. Not only as a writer, but as a person in AI. It is a field and an industry that needs more diversity.
Yes.
So we have a lot of first generation Americans in our district. We're an all black community up here, so a lot of diversity in our area. But we need to continue that diversity into all fields. So
Right.
these kids that maybe they may be interested in this, but they've never seen it in their family.
Hmm.
Just because they haven't seen it doesn't mean they can't do it. So
Hmm.
why should they consider getting into this and say, look, I can make a difference as well?
Um, it's very rewarding because, especially at this time, because a little bit of knowledge, you can produce so much. And like I said, it's very satisfying. So, and if you really find something that you love, and it really adapts to an individual's loves, an individual's interests and their passions, you take your passion and you use AI. And you can just do anything. You don't have to be a writer. You can be. I seen one lady. She sews. She creates garments.
Wow.
You can be an artist, a songwriter. So it's very rewarding.
Absolutely. Well, again, we thank you so much for fitting this in your schedule. Michelle Ryan, all the way from the Queen City of
Queen
Charlotte, North
City.
Carolina. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for asking me. Have a great day, guys.
All right, see you, buddy.